Hello, welcome back for our next episode of Champions of the Fae. It's been a minute since we've been able to get back onto the stream, so I am really excited to see everybody and jump into this game tonight. Let's see, before we get started, a few things to mention are sponsors, which is right there in chat, maybe. Oh, I didn't open StreamBot, that's why. I'll have them up in chat later, but they are Fundamental RPG, which is a really cool, simple D20 system that you can pick up on Amazon or my coffee shop. And then Ravenflight Games, where I pro GM games via startplaying.games, which I'll have links in chat in a minute as well. And then Die Hard Dice is a really great dice company. If you use the code Blackfeather, you can get 10% off of your order there. And again, I'll have links up in just a minute. Other cool thing to check out is the Children and Champions of the Fae supplement for D&D 5th edition. It's really cool. We're using a lot of it for the game, and there's a link there in chat that you can go to check it out. And then moving on to introductions for everybody, we'll start with the top left. Anna, tell us a little bit about your character and yourself.
Yeah, I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny most places on the internet. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer and podcaster. You can find me on Twitter and most other social media at Archival Dust Bun. And I play Ileana, who is a little bit of a mystery, but is coming home and a little anxious about that. Our home city, Maihea, is threatened, and we'll just have to see how that plays out.
All right. Next, we would normally have Ian, who plays Marosha. He could make it this week, but go check out his stuff on his Twitter, which is right there in the bottom left corner. Your boy Big. He's really cool and does a lot of really cool stuff, so go check him out. Next, we've got Par. Tell us a little bit about Gren and yourself.
Hey, I'm Par. I play Gren Vicaris, a monk cleric multi-class. I call it agent. And I am a regular for this for the show and on Raven Shell, and I just love being here back with these guys playing again.
Awesome. Next, we've got Em. Tell us a little bit about Ben and yourself.
Yeah, I'm Emily. I'm at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist, and I play Ben, a human artificer who is not from the Feywilds and would love to kind of get out of this business and back home, but maybe after the plains-consuming demons are taken care of.
That's fair. Then I'm next. I'm Raven. I'm a professional game master and game designer. I also do voice acting and a bunch of other cool stuff. You can find about everything that I do at my Twitter, which is right below my face. And then I play Othi, who's a halfling paladin and sort of a former city guard by day and therapist by night. She's a lot of fun to play and she's really excited to be back in Maihea, which is where she's from. So it's going to be interesting. Next, we've got Zan. Tell us about Varen and yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Zan. I'm Insanity TTRPG most places. I've got some really cool stuff going on that I am involved with, including professional games, podcasts that are coming out or coming up, and some other cool stuff that I'll get into when we're wrapping up tonight. But I am playing Varen, who is who is unfortunately a forest horror, is not really used to this whole urban environment. So we're going to see how that goes for them. And he is a barbarian druid multiclass. So if Gren is an agent, then I think that Varen would be, we'll just call it a warden. And that's me.
Awesome. And then last but not least, we've got Andy. Tell us about this really cool world that you've got for us and yourself, and take it away.
Hey, I'm Andy. I'm a science teacher. I am a professional DM world builder and TTRPG person. We'll get into a little bit more things about that at the end. As far as this world goes, as Raven mentioned earlier, this is a lot based off of the Children's and Champions of the Fae, which is really cool. But the world itself is Feywilds, where you all have met up in the realm of Nymphindor. And over the course of the past couple of weeks, couple of days, months, how long has it been? Well, you ended up finding more than you bargained for as the world around you started to corrupt and change, as you found each other fighting this corruption, ultimately figuring out that there was larger rules at play, as eventually you found out that there's hags working with demon lords and trying to change the Feywilds as it currently stands. Currently, you know several key pieces of information, and after exploring the swamps of Ehib and discovering a little bit more about the Primal Court and their intentions, you discovered the hag Xenophia, who had been fighting against them this entire time, helping the Kappas and raising King Kappa back to health, as she sent you off to Tia Bruja in the bottom of Maihea. As you dealt with her and her shenanigans a little bit, you clambered all your way up the hill and headed towards the summer capital, where we find ourselves in the realm of Elassidir. As you make your way to the top of the cliffside, you can see the oceans of Sylvanthe below you, the twin isles off to the distance. And on your right, you can see the mass forest that is Elassidir. Massive oak trees span across, as the area that you are currently walking in is more of a meadow. Looking over the horizon, you can see the city in front of you. As you make your way through, getting closer and closer to the city of Maihea, you walk past vibrant wildflowers that seem to move and get up and shift out of your way as to avoid getting stepped on. You can see that there's, as you get closer and closer to the city, more life, more creatures just existing. But you have to look closely for some of them. They're small. You notice that there's little beetle people living inside of these larger mushrooms. Green crystals are poking up, getting closer and closer as you make your way towards the city. Above you, you can see the clouds roll over from the oceans and flocks of small golden birds, thousands strong, coast over the forest as you all keep heading towards the city. And as you get closer, there's more people, more things. You can see right off the coast, practicing in the wind, there's 3 hippogriffs, one large and 2 smaller ones. It looks like they're doing some sort of flying lessons, as far as you can tell. Animal folk abound. You can see that there's a couple of deer folk wandering through the forest, kind of catching your attention and pausing for a moment before they go back to their business. As eventually you find your way towards the city, where you see the wall in front of you. As Maihea is kind of a fortress. It is protected from this side, at least. There's 4 entrances and exits out of the city, and you are coming up out of the southernmost entrance. Each entrance leads to a different place throughout the forest, throughout the realm. Yours, the direction of Tia Bruja's lair, as well as several other things. As you make your way up to the gate, you spot 3 forest guards, all of them blindingly white, wearing their uniform. Very clearly tooth fairies, who you, at least Othi, would be very much aware that there are many tooth fairies in the forest guard, almost all of them. But while the forest guard is a number of tooth fairies, there are many other fae creatures that if they follow suit, they're more than welcome to join. Currently in front of you are these 3. They look like they are snacking on something. They're eating some sort of bars in their hands. And they all kind of peek up when they see your making an arrival.
Do I?
Before
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say something to the party before we got there, but if you wanted to ask a question, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. I just wanted to know if Othi knows these particular guards.
As a matter of fact, Othi, you do know these particular guards. You're trying to figure it out as you get a little closer, but you do recognize them. They were newer recruits when you were first around, and as you made your way up to captain, they kind of got a little bit higher up. They still are under where you were in ranking. But this is the Tooth Fairy Guards, Snag, Craggle, and Pip.
Oh, that's amazing. That makes me happy. Othi's probably going to like run ahead a little bit to talk to them, but before she does, what was Ilyana gonna say?
As we're approaching, I will pull my hood up and turn to the party. The job you all were hired for is done. We figured out what was going on with the Primal Court. If you wish to leave, now's your chance.
That was not Varen's job.
Oh. The job that you were hired for with the Mouse King.
The Mouse King is irrelevant. The Mouse King is not Brother Ox or Varen. Varen will continue.
I'm here for the adventure.
I think Gren just rolls his eyes. Is an adventurer's job ever really done? I mean, it wasn't 250 years ago. It still isn't now.
Didn't exactly sound like they were gonna stop at the Feywilds, and doesn't exactly seem great to ditch now, so.
Okay, then.
Right. On we go. At that point, Othi will move forward ahead of the group and go up to the guards.
Yeah, and as you run your way down the hill, they start. At first, you catch them off guard, and they immediately jump back. And then Craggle looks up. Is that Othi?
Hey, what's
Doing here?
poppin'?
Oh, we have studied you so long. What's going on?
I've just been on a really fun little trip. Roche and I, we've been having a little adventure, seeing the world, that sort of thing. It's been pretty great.
Cool. Yeah, you're not gonna get out of here. We'll have our own adventure one day. Yeah, I know. Okay, but that's so cool. Oh my gosh! And the third one just crunching away on these bars. You just hanging out here? Or you on another adventure?
Oh, well, our travels have brought us sort of full circle, and I figured I'd show my friends here around the city.
Okay, cool. Do you need anything from us, Captain?
No, not really. Just need to get into the city.
Okay, yeah, of course. Right. Hey. Hits a button and you can see some chains start to move as the door opens up slowly, and a blast of slow, warm air starts to rush over you all as the door opens. As inside you see the city, and there is a lot going on. Even from a glimpse, you can see that there are people moving around, carts wheeling themselves through, and in the center of the city, the castle. As the three of them look back at you, Othi. Do you need us to? Do you need Captain Latote for anything? Do you need an escort? Do you need whatever you need, or is that it?
It's okay. I'm retired. You don't have to do all the pomp and circumstance anymore. Just keep doing your job, and don't worry. But I'm sure you'll find adventure it came to me in a snap. So
Oh, that's
before you even
that's kind of like me.
yeah, before you even know it's coming, it's there. So
Yeah. Wait to see you. I'm really excited. Maybe we'll see you later. If you're heading to Malone's later this evening. We're on the job.
yeah, I'm absolutely gonna stop by there. Probably gonna spend the night there. So if if you want to come by and say hi, that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
As you all start to walk through, Pip, who's just been munching on these bars, looks at you. You guys want a bar?
Do I recognize these particular kind of bars as like a local?
Yeah,
Kinda
these
thing?
are little snack bars, little poppy snacks. You know that they're a favorite, especially among the tooth fairies. They kind of just pop and sizzle in your mouth as you're eating them. They don't have any like other effect, but they are very fun.
Okay, yeah, Othi will definitely take one.
Yeah, I love
thanks.
these things.
They're fun.
Anybody else want a little pop bar?
Yes.
Whoa. What do you have one?
He's very.
Cool. Do you want a pop bar?
Yes.
Nice.
You.
Have a pop in time. He starts to eat another one. Ben, are you
Yeah.
grabbing one?
Ben kind of hesitates and then, sure, thanks.
Yeah, I got plenty. I made them earlier this morning, but I'm gonna run out soon, so I'll make more later.
Given the tone, Ben's kind of wondering what else is there. Because that's a familiar tone.
Pip, they gotta, they're on business.
Well, yeah. If you want more, let me know later. Bye. As he just kind of leans against the wall. As you all enter the city. And it is warmer in here. Not uncomfortable, but noticeably. Especially being right next to the coast, just walking through the doorway, you can feel comfortable. As you see that there's all of these Fae creatures, you notice that there's a labyrinth of all colors, of all different seasons. There's blue and reds and browns and greens and yellows walking around you. Even the buildings themselves are matched with these different colors. Now, here a lot of them are in the yellow tones, the warmer tones. This is a very clearly summer city. As you make your way through the streets, you see that there's these carts that are rolling down the roads, being dragged by these axe beaks with bright, beautiful feathers and plumage. It looks like they're bringing people from place to place. As you walk through the streets, there's the smell of freshly baked bread and pastries that have a hint of sugar and honey and fruit hints that seem to be wafting through the streets. What would you like to do?
As we walk, I'm keeping my eye out for any guard that are patrolling who seem to have some sort of rank. Somebody who could get stuff done if set to a task.
Make a perception check for me.
My 25 passive doesn't help.
Well,
Yeah, let me get it pulled out. Perception. 18.
all right. As you walk through the streets, just with this idea in mind, coming out of one of these pastry shops, it looks like, and seemingly just walking straight across. And Othi, you recognize this person also, as they are in a captain's uniform of the guard. And you recognize this as Captain Thimbus Latoad, who is also a tooth fairy. They were right alongside you with Brink. And they're walking out eating this massive looking bear claw, just beelining in some direction.
Oh yeah, Othi kind of leans over to Ileana and like, oh yeah, I know this guy. He's another captain. Here, and she'll hand Ileana her pop bar. Like, give him one of these. He really likes like danishes and donuts and pastries and stuff like that.
Oh, I was going to do a more direct route. If you want to get his attention, that would be helpful.
Yeah, Othi will flag him down.
And it takes us a little bit more time than you thought it might, as being a captain of the guard. He seemed very just absent-minded walking through the street. As he looked back, oh, whoa, Othi, hey, what are you doing here?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I
back to sign back up.
Oh no, I'm still pretty steadfast in my conviction on the why there.
Okay, fair enough. Thought I'd try though.
But yeah, no, I went on an adventure. I got to see a whole bunch of different places, and it just so happens that our group here, our travels, brought us back here. But my friend Ileana, I think, was wanting to speak to someone in the guard. But I saw you. I thought, hey, might as well introduce you. But how are you? How's your pad?
Oh, it's going. It's working. Still working on it, honestly. But it just keeps changing. I'm never satisfied with anything. I just keep messing everything around, and one day it'll get finished. Though I'll be happy with it. But was there a problem? Is there something that needs to be? Sorry, who needs help?
Othi will kind of motion to Ileana and to the captain together.
Ileana, who you realize is not there, under her cloak, you see a Korrid of light granite skin and red hair, who you would recognize as Prince Dov. And Ileana steps up, doesn't lower her hood, but steps up like she's trying to stay hidden and quiet. Captain?
Prince, it's Prince Dov. Yes.
I need you to raise the guard, man the wall. Trouble is incoming, but do it quietly.
Of course. Anything else?
I don't want to say seal the city yet, but if you do not recognize someone coming in, do not allow them entrance.
Of course, yes, sir. We'll get right on that. And he's gone.
Ileana turns, and as she does, she's back to Ileana.
That's not ever gonna not creep me out.
Gren is applauding. I was making the motion of applause, but Gren is actually applauding.
Anyway, you're welcome. Glad I could be helpful.
A bit more direct, but I think a bit quicker than trying to bribe with food.
It works for me. So what next?
I think I need to head to the castle. You all are welcome to come with if you want, or if there's food or supplies you want to pick up, or if you want to rest before everything kind of hits the dirt.
I think I do need to rest. It's been a minute and a lot of fights since I've gotten a chance to really get some sleep.
Yeah, and right now, by the way, the time is reaching early evening. You've been doing a lot today. That is true.
Well, if there's an inn you prefer, then by all means, but you're welcome to stay in the castle as well. Rooms can be prepared for you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I was planning on... I know Marosha's probably going to want to go, too. I was planning on just taking everybody to my favorite pub. So we could all eat and rest. But, I mean, I could go do that and then just meet you up at the castle.
Whatever you prefer. If I know where you are, we can send somebody to summon you as well.
Sure. I'm just gonna be at Malone's. It literally ask anyone and they will know where that is. Well, I guess unless they don't look like they're from the city, and then they might not, but any local will know where that is.
I'm sure the guards can find it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and at mention of not looking like they're from the city, Ben just kind of glances at himself and then around like, yeah, this won't be a problem.
Now, Ben, it's not lost on you. There are no other people here that are human. Yes, correct. All right.
Great.
So, that one.
Do we? And this is and this is Zan, not Baron, obviously. Do we know how long it's going to be? Do we have like an estimated timeline?
Not officially by any means. You know that movement is happening, so sooner rather than later. But is it going to be tomorrow? Unsure. Is it going to be in like a week? Who knows? But it's not going to be in like a month, right? So
pretty quick. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so right now we have Othi heading to Malone's and Ileana heading towards the castle.
So things that you, again, already, I'll just do a little recap of the pieces of information that you already know. You know that right now there are at least, well, there's the demon lord Ragda, who is the queen of the witches. She is around working with the hags. You know that there is the demon lord Azavadexis, who is the massive Tyrannosaurus-like creature who's been tormenting Ihib. You know that the seed of Meligarius is also a dormant demon lord. You know that there is at least maybe one other figure who is working from the sidelines. You know that the Rule of Three exists, and they are working alongside the Primal Court and growing some type of army. You've heard that there's a few other people as well that are working, that are not demon lords themselves, but are working for that same entity, that are other demons themselves too, almost certainly. Where they are, though, I don't believe you got that piece of information.
Yeah, we were told that the Rule of Three, or at least part of the Rule of Three, were on their way here to get the seed. But we don't know how far behind them we were, or if they were coming straight here or doing something else first. So anybody else coming with me? Or is everyone going to get a drink with Othi? Business or pleasure?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm not really a castle kind of person.
I think Varen would go to the castle. There's stuff that it has to do, but it doesn't really need to be any time right before sleep. So it's fine.
Yeah, I think Gren will tag along to the castle too. If nothing else, just for appearance sake.
All right. So we're splitting up. All right.
Yeah.
As Varen, Gren, and Ileana all head off to the castle, and Othi and Ben head off to Malone's pub. And you both groups see wildly different things, but also so much movement. These birds and these carts and these smells that are all constantly shifting and teasing all of your senses simultaneously as you travel through this city. Othi and Ben, you reach Malone's, which, as you get to it, looks like a short, stout building that just kind of goes further back. It is thatch roofed, but it also has a nice little flair to it. The door is very wide, and also only about 7 8 feet tall, but it is about 10 or so feet across, with these 2 wide swinging double doors, both of which are open, showing that Malone's is still open for business. You can see that there's tables inside that are currently, some of them populated, some not yet. And as you walk through, there's a table that has a couple of different campestries, little mushroom folks that are out there just playing a card game. You can see that there are these other handful of Tooth Fairy guards that are just posted up, having a bite to eat. It looks like their uniforms are slightly off, so they're not on duty. Oath, you notice that. As far as these ones, they don't look like recruits that you personally know, but hey, there's new recruits all of the time. You see that there's 2 centaurs that are sitting in the back. You also see that there is a little stage set up, and it looks like there's a sort tapir-like creature that is setting up some type of instruments that are on the stage. They haven't started playing yet, but it looks like they're getting ready to. As you walk up to the bar, it's, you could sit wherever, but you also know to go say hi to Malone, who you don't see right in the moment, but you know by hearing the clattering in the background of the kitchen that there is stuff back there. You wait for another minute or so. You hear pots clinging and, okay, a little bit of that, muttering. And within a few minutes, the back door opens and out comes this tall, wide, furry creature with this oblong-like head and mouth that spans all the way across it, standing about 5-6 feet tall, but about 5-6 feet wide as well, ordained with a little chef's hat and an apron, holding a pretty hefty pot of stew as comes out of plops it on the back counter, turns around, serve it. Well, I'll be Oathy.
Hey, Malone. It's good to see you.
How are you? And he comes in and just goes for a big fuzzy hug.
I love that. Yeah, Oathy gives him a awkward big hug back, because she's still wearing probably scuffed and dirty armor at this point. It just gives him a big hug back. She's like, ugh.
And he's a fluff ball. So he kind of engulfs you with this big bear hug of his. Oh, it's been a long time, Oathy. Cheer. You hungry? Do you want something to drink? Of course. Never mind. Silly. And he starts setting up these 2 bowls. And is this your friend?
Yeah. This is Ben. Ben, this is Malone.
Hi.
Malone. Nice to meet you.
Ben. And he offers a hand to shake.
He offered his right hand, which as you reach, it's a massive paw, like 3 times the size of your hand.
That's not hard.
4 or 5 times the size. As he just, good to see you. I haven't seen one of you in a while. You don't make your way around here very much.
Yeah, that's what I gathered.
Well, welcome. How is it?
Well, I mean, we just got here. Never been before.
Well, you came to the right place. Enjoy. Especially with this one. He gestures over to you, Oathy.
And Oathy just chuckles and does that sort of, yeah, let's not go into all the stories kind of, laugh and facial expression. But after that, she does reach into her bag. She's like, oh, that reminds me. And she pulls out just a small bag of like gold coins and sets it on the bar. So I'd like to buy the aforementioned food and drink. And then she sort of speaks much louder, turning towards the dining room. For the house.
As you say this, you get the Tooth Fairy guard's attention. Yeah! And the campestry. And everyone starts doing a little, yeah, they're stoked. As as Malone looks, "Oh, you went off on an adventure, you come back with the big bucks. I gotta go on adventures, I guess, again.
More bucks than I started with, but enough to do fun things like this every so often.
Well, greatly appreciated, but this will be great. I'll get those all in a second, everyone." And he goes about doling out some fresh food and drinks for the house.
Awesome. Othi picks out like her favorite booth and kind of not like grabbing Ben by the arm, but maybe by like the sleeve a little bit and just like tugging, like, over here. This is the best booth in the whole place. Like, you can see everybody that comes in from here.
And Ben is kind of looking around at everybody and everything, and he kind of mutters, well, odd one out, same as it ever was. Well, definitely more fun than a castle. He kind of mutters that one under his breath.
Yeah, I figured after sleeping on ground and getting assaulted by trees and other various things, this might be a little bit more cozy.
I mean, I had a contraption that launched fire, but that didn't get brought over with me, so that would have been handy. Would have been nice for killer trees.
Yeah, that would have been.
Yeah. Oh well. Take what you got, I guess.
Othi just sort of nods awkwardly, realizing that she suddenly doesn't really have anything to talk about because they're not in danger or trying to solve a mystery right this second. And does a very awkward neurospicy just sitting there because she can't think of anything else to talk about.
And as the two of you sit and enjoy your food and drink, the Tapir Bard starts to play. They start up their thing, and they're wielding this odd string instrument that has this interesting curvature to it. The strings go down, but not where the wood is. The wood is very dark and kind of looks like it's a little tar covered on some edges. But the music is great and surprisingly good with an instrument that looks as kind of beat up as this one does. And keeps playing through the evening. And we'll come back to you two in just a little bit. As the other three of you, Ileana, Viren, and Gren, make your way over to the castle of Maia. And as you approach and get closer, the plant life of the castle itself starts to overgrow on the walls and in the pathways themselves. There are wildflowers of all colors blooming, massive leaved plants with even bigger flowers, and a couple of dryads that are moving through the plants themselves. Look like they're maintaining some of the areas, whether or not it's areas they live in or just that they're responsible for. As you move through, and Ileana, you show the way up to the main castle gates. Moving through, talking, seeing another set of tooth fairy guards, another captain sitting up top as before they let you into the castle, they approach you and give you a once over.
Yeah, when they approach, I will look like Princess Lorelei.
Oh, Princess, I expected you back. Everybody else has been gathering in the chamber. Are you going to meet them right away?
Yes.
Wonderful. I believe they are already in session, but feel free to join them. Somebody will meet you at the door.
Thank you.
Thank you. As he lets you in. As the three of you walk through, you enter the foyer of this summer castle. And everything in here is golden and beautiful, shimmering in a bright light that doesn't hurt your eyes but feels warm and welcoming. Kind of like a summer breeze. As you follow Ileana, you know the way to this specific chamber. You know where the court meets. As you climb up a staircase and turn to the left and pass a massive tree that is just in the center of this floor, walking past it, you come to another door, which is ornate in sculpture. You can see that there are vines and leaves that grow up it that are embedded into the door itself, as there is one guard currently posted outside. And as they see you, they stand at attention. Princess Lorelei, are you to join the session?
Yes, please.
Wonderful. And will you be bringing company?
Yes, they are with me.
Wonderful. As he raps on the door,
I'll turn and look at the other two. Best behavior, please.
How does one behave best?
Can I have just have had Grun switch into like sort of normaler clothes rather than the extravagant clothes he usually wears?
Yes. Yeah, sometime throughout the journey, maybe before you left to Bruhaz or something. Yeah.
Yeah, not like commoner's clothes, but like still nice, but not like extravagant.
Fair enough. As the door opens and the three of you enter this room, here is the closed session room of the Summer Court. And in front of you, there is a beautiful stone table. And around it sit 16 chairs. Some of these chairs currently have an individual in them. Some of these are currently empty. But notably, every single chair is different. There is, at the very head of the table, not to be missed, a bright golden, radiantly beautiful chair. In it, sitting an equally as radiant and beautiful Summer Queen. With her honey-colored skin, you can feel the essence of this archfey, even just walking into the room. Next to them sits a dark green chair with bright antlers and red that drags all the way down, as you see King Oberyn, who is also present, sitting strong, sturdy, his antler crown up, and on his best behavior currently. You see that there's another dark stone carved chair. In it sitting a Chord that you all recognize now as Prince Dov, who is dark in stone and long in hair, looking a little bored in this session, but still very attentive. You see that there's a white Pegasus with a great horn that's sitting down on some white flowers and grass next to the table. You see that there is a tree that seems to just be growing out of the floor that is currently, was at least, in the process of speaking. You see that there's sitting in a dark brown chair made of thick oak is this larger man with this great big beard and this fur that just drapes around him as he just sits holding a massive ale cup in his hand. You also recognize the Mouse King, who is here, sitting in a small little chair that is perfectly sized for him, sitting very attentively at the table, whipping his head immediately as you open the door. You see Veranestra, who you recognize from earlier, sitting in a chair made seemingly almost exclusively of wildflowers. You also see a little pseudo-dragon who is sitting on a chair made of scales and essence of light. You also see a dark, empty chair that looks like it is draped in shadow. The other chairs that are missing, or without having an individual on it, there's a light blue chair that looks like it's carved with different rivers. There's a chair that features a little bit of all 4 seasons. It looks like that chair would take over all year round, potentially. There's a dark feathery chair with 2 skulls on the pommels of the handholds. There's a green and yellow chair that looks like it's made almost exclusively of metallic scales. A large dark chair with bull horns on the back. And there is a chair of colorful, vibrant feathers. Those last ones are currently all empty. As the door opens and the handful of people that are around look over at you all.
I'll do a kind of bow and just mumble a bunch of apologies, but psychic whisper to the queen. We have an emergency. You should speak quickly.
As the Summer Queen stands. Apologies are not needed, my daughter. Tell us, what news do you bring?
I'm going to check in with her psychically real quick. Do you want me to tell everyone, or do we want to speak privately first?
And she responds, is there anybody in this room you don't trust?
She doesn't respond. I don't know where a Dumbril is. He could be any of the people in this room, but nothing can be done about that. She pauses for a second. And out loud. It's concerning the seed and the primal court.
As you say that, Vernesta, yeah, we took that and we put it somewhere safe. We've actually been talking a little bit about that already. I know what you told me, and I conveyed the message. And we're here. We know what you said to me. What did you find out?
So I've hired sellswords who have been working for me. These are 2 of them, though. This is Varahin, who is an ambassador of Brother Ox.
As you say that, the Mouse King waves excitedly. But you also see that the man with the large beard looks over at you, Viren. And Viren, you recognize this person as the Bear King, who doesn't say anything. But that's the first time that you notice that he actually, really acknowledged any of you.
All right, cool.
And these sellswords have managed to infiltrate the primal court that we've been hearing so much about. And the news that they brought back to me was dire. It is being led by a demon lord, Ragna, in conjunction with an ancient hag, and I look straight at the queen, Ruthie.
As you say that, she just closes her eyes.
There are a number of demon lords here, including a few that are on their way to this city to retrieve the seed.
Well, that is all good to know. As she whispers a little bit to herself, but you know that she is sending a message as well. And if you want to roll a perception, you would just be able to catch this, Ileana. No worries. That's fair. You can see that she's mouthing fortify the seed. Essentially just boost that security a little bit. As she turns back. Well, coming here for it. We have much to discuss now. Plan. Because we will not lose this one, seed, or the city. Tell us what you know, so we may prepare.
with the help of my two companions, I will explain all of the information that the sellswords brought back to me, because I definitely wasn't there.
As you spend the next amount of time recounting your adventure to the currently available members of the Summer Court, we're going to go ahead and take a little break, and we'll be back in about 10-15 minutes.
Awesome. We'll be right back. There we go. It's taken a second to switch. Awesome, we're back.
All right. Welcome back. Where we just left off. Ben and Othie, you all went on an adventure to Malone's Tavern, Malone's Pub, where you met Malone and a couple of the regulars that are here early evening time. Bought a round of food and drink for the entire establishment and are currently chilling, hanging out, eating, drinking, listening to this tapir rock this old stringed instrument really well. Surprisingly good. The other group of you, Ileana, Viren, and Gren, went to the castle, to the summer court, and made their way into the closed session of the summer court, seeing chairs set aside for each individual member, some of them full, some of them empty, as well explained, and gave all of the details, what you know, who you know about, where they're currently located, what their goals are, and are currently in that process of figuring out what to do next. You know that this potential horde of demons and fiends might be at your doorstep. You know that there's the seed that needs to be protected. You know that there's several entities out there that are working against you. Choices are up to you as you find yourself in a closed session room.
Well, since this seems like it's going to be a war council, Varen is going to, take the cloak that it's wearing or like some fabric that it has in its sack, and is going to, intentionally put it over the large chair with the giant horns coming out of it, and we'll sit down and continue the conversation.
As you take the chair with these massive bull horns on the back of it, there's a little glance over from the Pegasus that has the great horn on its head, how familiar with the court and the members of it would you say Viren is?
I don't think terribly so. I think if anything, Varen was maybe slightly more aligned with the Winter Court before he started working with Brother Ox.
Fair enough. As this horse gives you a sideways glance, and also catching it is the Bear King, who looks over at the horse and looks back at you. And you notice that the Summer Queen doesn't even flinch. She doesn't even really react to that. But there's a couple of sideways glances as you take the seat. But the Bear King kind of looks over at you. Doesn't say anything, but takes a big drink out of his cup.
Varen will meet the eye contact. But not like staring you down.
Yeah.
Just like acknowledged and looked away.
Okay. As Varen is taking the seat of Brother Ox.
As Varen does that, I will lean in and whisper to Gren, stay here, observe, make sure that Varen doesn't get in any trouble. And then I will kind of step back and turn back towards the table. I do apologize, but I've delivered my message and I'm quite exhausted in my ordeals today, so I'm going to take my leave if that's okay.
Yes, of course, Princess Lorelei. Enjoy your rest. Thank you for the information. We'll see you.
Kind of almost bow, and then I will quickly exit the room.
As that's just the end of it. Nobody even really gives that exit a second response. As Ileana, you leave the chamber. Viren and Gren, you're still in there. As the conversation shifts into alerting the guards and making sure that the walls are fortified and that we have lookouts and what we can expect. And you see that it's mostly only a few people that are actively engaging in this conversation. Everyone else seems to be listening and trying to piece together some of this information. The Summer Queen is participating. King Oberyn and Prince Dav are in this conversation. The horse has spoken up, talking about how we need to make sure that the surrounding areas are also protected. We need to bring everybody into the city as far as protecting anybody that might be left outside. And you can see that Prince Dav is against this idea because we don't know who is who right now. If they're outside the city, we can't. And so they're going back and forth about that topic. If either of you have thoughts on whether or not to shut that down or not.
Can I think I just quickly want to try to get a read on some of these Archfey, even though
Sure.
probably not going to help, but I think Gren's just sort of looking around, seeing if anything's just off here. Like, casting, like, See Invisibility would be, like, a huge move. I think Gren is trying to be more, like, subtle, like, is there maybe anything off here?
All right. Go ahead and just roll me an insight check.
I mean, these are Archfey, so I'm not really expecting anything. $23.
23. Awesome. With a 23, you're picking up a lot of sincerity and concern, especially for the people that are in the area. As far as, any turncoats or anything like that, you don't quite pick up on anything in that realm, but there are a lot of some of the people at the table, or some of the Fae leaders at the table, are feeling a little bit more concerned than they are letting on. You can tell that the Mouse King especially is not happy with what's going on here. And you can tell that Veranestra is equally as unpleased with the idea that, well, I brought this dangerous thing back, and now, everyone wants this thing. So you can see that they're having like a little exchange of that at the same time. But as far as ill intent, there's none that you really pick up on at all from that. It's just every different idea of what is the best case scenario, what is the worst case scenario, what are the different options that we have here.
Okay. Then I think Gren, he's sort of just awkwardly hovering by Lorelai's chair still, or at least the chair she sat in, because he's sort of doing the bodyguard thing. But he'll make meaningful eye contact with Varen, because even the Archfey being unsettled is like not a comforting thing. There's no part of him that reads them being like maybe more concerned than they should be, or sorry, than they're presenting, and was like, "That's cool, that's great, I love that." Which is like tries to signal that to Varen without speaking. Obviously, the Archfey is speaking.
I think Varen might be a little oblivious to that. Catching the most that it can. But I think when the discussion of like to bring people in or to keep them at bay, Varen will speak up and go,
"All who are not allowed into the city will become enemies when they join with the enemy. This enemy brings the ability to spread corruption. And regardless of if they were a friend, when the corruption sets in, they will be foe."
As you say that, a hush kind of goes over the table as the horse speaks up again. "See, even more of a reason that we need to allow entry. Prince, I can rally them now, if that is okay with you, my queen." And by nod of agreement, Varen, make a persuasion check.
Oh no. Oh, there's a reason that Varen does not talk much.
Can't imagine I'm close enough to help with this.
Is there a way you can interject? If you want to.
No, I am worse than Baron, I think.
All right, I'll make the roll then. Okay. All right, wait a second. Do I have? Okay. I do have an inspiration. I'm gonna use that inspiration. I think.
Okay.
Not. I think I'm going to use that inspiration.
Okay.
Fucking 8.
Oof.
Hey, it's better than that natural 1.
It is better than that natural 1. That is true. As the queen looks over, Ektion, we need you here. But we can send envoys instead. You know they will be faster than you. But I do have my concerns as well. We need them to be careful, vetted, even. We don't have much time. Okay. Ektion, not you. But. And she claps. And immediately there's a creature that just seemingly appears on the table. And as it pauses, it is only a few inches big, standing, looking like it's just vibrating as it stands still. And she says, go alert. Tell everyone to get inside the walls, but make sure they go through the proper channels. Yes, ma'am. And it's gone. As there's at least something being done in that regard. As the conversation continues about whether they'll be showing up through the forest or through the water. At the pub, Ben, both of you. You've been hanging out, drinking some drinks, eating some stew, which is fantastic. It has spices and a little hint of citrus, but it really just adds to it in an odd way. As the Tapir Bard has been rocking the house, and at this point, well, it's been a little bit. How much have you two indulged?
Othi probably quite a bit.
Ben's probably had a couple of drinks. Shockingly self-controlled. He's nervous.
Fair enough. And this the Tapir Bard starts to get off the stage and has taken a little break in the set and is walking around table to table with kind of a little hat asking for if there's any donations. You see him going, not to you first, but he goes over to the centaurs first and makes his way over to the Tooth Fairy guards and past the Campestry. And over the past time you've been here, more people have been showing up. There's a couple of Eladrins that have been taking over one of the other booths over there. There's a few more deer folk and beetle folk and fox folk that have shown up in here. Malone's has a pretty busy nightlife. And it looks like they are, just having a great time over here. If there's anything else you want to check out or do at Malone's, if you're just having a good time.
Yeah, I think Othi is just like, so anyways, that's how I won the third trivia contest on a technicality. And sees, the bard coming over and will probably tip very generously.
Yeah, Ben does as well. He has actually been working on, he has pulled, it looks like an embroidery hoop out of his bag. And there's a thing across that says, be the light you want to see in the world, but it's a Molotov cocktail. But
very good.
He likes this booth that Othi has picked because he also would have picked the booth where you can see the doors and everybody coming in and out. Yeah, he also tips the bard, and he kind of gives Othie a nod. Huh. I mean, I don't know. The trivia nights we were having, well, I don't know. They suddenly stopped telling me what night they were. So I had to start crashing them.
Oh. Were you just winning all of them? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's kind of how it got to be.
Yeah. I could see that. You seem pretty smart.
In fairness, it did get kind of boring.
Yeah, these ones here can they can get a little boring. It depends on the week. Some weeks they have like a lot of people that are really into it and it gets really competitive and those are fun. And then other weeks well, the folks in the room are about as bright as the lighting in the room, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, but then you get some people who are a little too into it, and it's like, calm yourself. It's a game. We're here to have fun.
Oh yeah, the sports trivia people. Yep.
Ah, yeah, those ones. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Those sports trivia people with their sports ball and whatnot.
Do the thing, win the points.
Yep. Exactly. Anywho, I wonder how things are going up at the castle.
Yeah, and he kind of glances uncomfortably in the general direction that the castle was. He does not look envious. I think I like it here better, and I say that without even having set foot there.
Yeah, I've been in the castle a few times. It's very courtly, which, I guess to each their own, but I just get really bored really easily when I'm in there usually. So this is a lot more fun. And after getting banged around so many times and all of those fights, I needed to just chill.
Yeah, I feel that as he finishes what's left of his second drink of the night.
Othie throws back probably like her fifth, and then pulls off like a big piece of her armor. Like with a thunk, it just sets down on the table and she grabs a rag and starts wiping at it. See, I haven't. This is like from 4 fights ago. I haven't even been able to wipe this off yet. Ew, this is sticky. Ew.
Oh, that's gonna rust if you're not. Yeah.
Hence why I was ready for a rest.
Yeah, and Ben again is kind of glancing toward the doors. Like he's not entirely sure what suspicious would look like because he's literally the only human there. But it's like, does anybody here look like they're not here just to relax and hang out?
Yeah, make an insight check as you scan the room.
Can I make an insight check to see if Othie notices Ben being suspicious?
Yes, you can. Yeah, because right now Ben's the true.
That's mean. Roll 20. 13.
Yes.
Yeah, as the two of you start, giving little glances around, yeah, Ben, you're not picking up on really anybody that's here for any other reason than to just like have a good time. It seems like everyone's just chilling. And that's kind of been the vibe you've gotten throughout the entire city. No one seems to be like getting in an argument or anything like that right now, or trying to pickpocket someone or being sneaky in a corner. Those are human things. And
I just gotta make some more eggs.
And Othie, you notice that, yeah, Ben's looking a little shifty as he keeps like on a head on a swivel, making like looking over at everybody.
So Othi, noticing this, is gonna just pick some random Fae in their room and kind of focus in on them, and be like, "Is it? No. Well, does it look like they're trying to hide something to you?"
That's the thing. Nobody looks like they're trying to hide anything, and nobody's being loud or arguing or, acting like this is a pub, and it's weird.
I mean, this is pretty much what most of the nights at the pub are like. That guy over there, like, I don't know, he looks... Does that look like a wig? Like the hair look fake to you? I think it might be a disguise.
I don't know. Usually this time of night, I surprised somebody and broken a leg off of a bar stool, cast shillelagh on it, and hit somebody with it. I wouldn't know.
That's really violent.
I mean, they were a lot bigger than me. They started it, so.
Oh, I just meant like that's very violent for an average night at a pub.
Yeah, well, I mean, he kind of goes back to looking, realizing again that he's the weird one.
Othi just like tries to motion to Malone without Ben noticing, be like, yeah, he needs another one.
Does Malone slide you 2 more?
Like, it's okay. You just gotta loosen up. This place is pretty safe.
I get that a lot. Yeah, at hearing this place is pretty safe, Ben just kind of narrows his eyes a little bit, like, yeah, sure.
Has anything tried to eat us, vomit black goo onto us, melt us into a puddle, or turn us into a newt in like 5 hours?
No, and after the rest of my experience here, that seems off.
So it's pretty safe.
Right. And he kind of takes a swig of the new beer, trying to calm himself down a little bit.
I think as the evening goes on, if Ben still doesn't like loosen up some, Othi's gonna suggest like some kind of drinking game.
He's not going to be able to resist it for too long.
Oh, you'll find people into that idea. It looks like the Campestries that were playing cards earlier, that's kind of what their game is currently devolving into. They're getting a little bit rowdy over there, but they're also, only about this big anyway. They're sitting on a booth, on a table, on top of a table of a booth, just to all like be together.
I love that.
But they look like they're having a fun time over there. There's about 4 or 5 little different types of mushrooms that are just from where you are. You can hear that they're making noise, but as far as the noises that they are saying, a little tough to make out. They're very excited.
I love that. Yeah, Othi's entire goal here is just to have a good time and relax. And then seeing that Ben is easy, her entire goal from that point is to get Ben to relax and have fun.
Yeah, and after 4 beers in or so, that's a little bit.
As the two of you continue to get more and more relaxed and intoxicated throughout the evening, how's the council doing? Viren and Gren, you both have been in the room as there's been more orders given, more commands, more plans laid out. There's ballista that are currently being manned. There are a number of forest guards available at any given time, and they are currently on alert right now. Prince Dom was confused for a second because apparently he had already told the forest guard to be on alert. And as he went to go tell the forest guard to be on alert, they were on it already. As you see him puzzle the pieces together, roll his eyes, shrug. Fair. As they keep making more plans. Asking a big question is which direction they might be coming from, if we know that.
Do we know that?
Well, you were an EHIB, but as far as specifically, no, not a direct path. Now, probably, the forest is pretty far away, but it's tough to tell. So now their options is to fortify as much as they can. What ideas do you two bring to the table?
No, can't say that.
I think in a less elegant way than I'm going to try to put it, I think Varen will suggest having some kind of like the exact route that they're going to come from. Yeah, we can't really know, but the fact that we need to have an emergency containment ready, and we'll share the way that like once the seed was dropped into the water, like that everything spread, everything in the water went to hell real quick. And we'll bring that up as hopefully relevant like experience, and maybe don't let it get in the water.
And that is great information. You see that the horse Ectiarn has, that's demeaning. The Pegasus Ectiarn begins to nod along. They seem to be very aligned with your line of thinking. In many of the arguments or ideas that you're bringing up. And as you finish that idea, the doors open again. And everyone pauses for a second, looks over as a new figure enters the room. And this figure has a mask on, a black mask and a dark hood, as they silently just walk into the room. As the voices pause and calm, as they walk right up to one of the empty chairs, the dark, shadowy chair right to the side of the Summer Queen. And they take a seat. As the Queen looks over to them, it's been a little while. We have much to catch up on, but I'm sure you are aware of our situation, which is, I'm sure, why you're here. What ideas might you bring to the table? As they take a moment and think.
The shadowy figure kind of sits forward in their chair. Don't give me that look, Zan. Sits forward in their chair, thinking. Closing the city seems to be the best course of action. Make sure no one gets in, no one gets out. It may be helpful to meet them in the field before they arrive at the walls.
So, we should establish a battalion then. Is that what you propose?
It's a thought. It could be risky, but just sitting behind the walls is risky as well. We don't know what kind of weapons or forces they bring against us.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Specifically regarding our new dark-clad friend, who we have never met before, I'm sure. When Ileana changes shape, does her scent change?
So she is a changeling, and changelings change on like a DNA level. So I believe
Okay.
so.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, then, fantastic. That answers that question.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Idea-wise, I think the only thing that Gren would propose at all during this entire thing is, would it be wise, my dear Archfaith, to perhaps set up a dummy location aside from where the seed, you called it, currently resides? Would it be wise at all to set up a dummy location with a similar level of security as sort of a fake out?
Maybe I'll take a moment to think about that. Yeah, roll a persuasion check for me.
Why? Hold on.
Because your social friend is not in the room currently. She's somewhere else,
Taking a rest.
Sorry,
laying down after a difficult day.
Yeah. Okay. Persuasion. Oh, just a -1 to this. Uh, 14.
Okay. As you bring up the idea of a decoy for where the seed might be held, the tree speaks up, and this is one of the first real things that they have said. They've been mostly taking in the information as they. Well, the seed is protected underneath my roots. However, they are expansive, and we can come up with something, I'm sure. They do not know currently where it resides, but might soon enough, if we were not careful enough. And now that idea is floated.
I shall say no more.
Okay.
With the situation as dire as it is, should we reach out to the Winter Court?
As you ask this question, Summer Queen goes quiet, and Bob speaks up. Well, I suppose this is everyone's issue, isn't it? But we have not reached out in a little while, I'm sure. And he kind of looks over for confirmation to the Queen, but nothing on that end. Do we have a contact? Do we know if they are facing similar problems? And they probably won't be happy to hear from us, as this was under their purview in the first place. But if they can help. And he looks over to the Queen for anything. And she just sits there stoically, thinking. As they discuss this idea back and forth, make a persuasion check for me, Ileana.
Do I have advantage on this because I know them so well?
Can I give advantage by saying that Brother Ox and the Grove of Hungers support this idea?
Sure, that does in fact carry some weight. Go ahead and have advantage on this roll.
Ooh, 20. Do I want to bolster this? I don't know if it is the best idea. I'll just leave it at 20. I'll leave it up to chance.
as the members of the Summer Court talk back and forth about whether or not this is a good idea and whether or not that will just be bringing on more problems than it's worth. Summer Queen speaks up, finally. Well, we have much history with them. My other side. But if this is as severe as we fear it might be worth reaching out. Very well. And they'll work on that. That'll take a little bit of time, though, to make that communication happen. But it is now on the Summer Queen's agenda. At least, as much as she said out loud.
Okay.
As you all continue and have this conversation and prep and plan and think about the defenses and the logistics of where these fiends might be coming from, it might take just the straight path. They might try to use the ocean or come from another unknown location. And everybody discusses and talks and preps and plans. And after much deliberation back and forth, there's jobs assigned. As Prince Dom is going to be in charge of maintaining the Forest Guard and boostering them, King Oberyn is going to be helping collect the bigger fighters that might not be part of the Forest Guard, but might be useful in this scenario. As Ektiarn is also in charge of maintaining the castle itself and the maintenance of what's going on around here. He's kind of the head advisor to the Summer Queen. So he is one that stays close usually to her. The animal lords, the Bear King and the Mouse King, they're tasked with trying to reach out to the other animal lords that didn't make it and figuring out how to help out as best they can in their own different ways. As the Mouse King gets up and scurries off with Veronestra as their part of the meeting is over. They know what their tasks are as to help as much as they can without putting themselves in any more danger than they have to. As members of the court start to go about their different jobs, leaving the three of you with the Summer Queen, with the massive tree who you know now to be Ementiezin, which is the Lord of the Treants, and Nathair, who is the Lord of the Fae, or the Pseudo-Dragons, who is still currently around. They didn't get a specific job, but they're available if needed. Is there anything else you would like to do right now with the group that you have?
I think for Gren, no. Now that it's gotten to be like more intimate with less people, Gren just wants to sort of back out because he's a cell. His role is a sellsword, so what the hell is he really still doing here? So it's like the last of the phase leaving. Gren will just sort of slip out too.
I think there is a very finite amount of talking that Varen is willing to sit for, because at a certain point, okay, cool, we're all just wasting fucking time, and so before things drag on too much, unless someone tries to stop it, Varen would go.
Right. Penumbra, What about you?
I'll hang around for a bit to find out what thoughts the queen might have about Lorelai's sellswords, what they could be doing during this, and essentially what I could be doing as well to help.
All right. As Ren and Viren exit along with the animal lords, and Viren, you see that the Bear King is also kind of shifting along behind you. He didn't say very much during the meeting, but you could tell that he was very invested in hearing everything of that meeting. And as you all leave the chamber, as it is Ileana and the Summer Queen and Emin and Ektiarn. As the Queen looks over at you, it is wonderful to see you again. Welcome home.
It's good to be back. Just wish the times weren't so dire, but I guess that's why I'm here.
I am not looking forward to this call I must make. But
I am sorry for suggesting it, but
you are correct and wise to do so. If this is affecting us, it will be affecting them as well. And while we do not always see eye to eye, we do have tasks to accomplish and lands to defend, people that rely on us. And whether or not we agree on everything, her role is as important as mine in some regards. This is one of them. Thank you for your work.
of course. What? Lorelai's sellswords. What do you think their purpose should be in this?
Well, Lorelai has been our eyes and ears in some regards. You all know the most out of any of us, I think. And you've fought these things. You've seen these things. You told us information, valuable information. I don't have an answer, but I do have options. If you would like to follow with your own idea of being on the front lines or here protecting the seed, we have many hands that we can utilize. And it seems that you are all valuable assets to us. Where would you feel the best being?
Let me speak with the others, offer them these options, and see where they might be most inspired. I think that may bring us the best results.
Excellent. Well, do keep me posted. But
Of course.
it has been a long day for both of us. And I'm sure you are in need of a break. Take a breath. Get some food if you haven't already. Can't think if you don't eat. You know this.
Of course.
Let me know what you decide.
And I will, I'll stand up and give, kind of the courtesy head nod to everyone who remains, and make my way out.
As they also return the courtesy head nod. As the three of them continue their deliberation.
And I will. I need to find Verhead and Gren, so I will very quickly head back to a nearby room that I know is private. And I'll switch back to Lorelei, and I'll go and find them.
Okay. Vern and Grin, you are left with the Bear King and the Mouse King and Veronestra. And if you're following along with them, they walked down the stairs and out to the foyer where you entered the castle. They all went different routes at this point, though, where the Mouse King and Veronestra went off into another corridor, and the Bear King silently just walks out of the castle. And clearly, he still has his big mug with him as well.
Did that meeting take hours?
That meeting was not short. It probably was a couple, 2 hours or so minimum, I would say. This was all during the time that Ben and Othie have just been hanging out at the pub.
Yeah.
Getting 5 to plus beers and drinks in.
This could have been an email.
Oh man. Yeah, in that case, I think Gren waits for all the Archfey to sort of disperse and is standing with Varen, and then just lets out the deepest sigh, just like, how can they speak for so long? I just don't understand it. I've never understood it. This is why I don't like going to court.
Yes, Varen agrees. That was a very long time to talk and not do very much. I hope our words carried weight.
I hope so too. You know, I've always liked that about you, Varen. I felt like we were kindred spirits in some really small ways, perhaps, but still kindred. Still
Do not besmirch yourself. You resemble Varen in many ways.
Oh, is that so? Gren just looks down at himself. Huh. I don't know what that says about me, but sure. Yeah, I'm down.
It says good things. This is good.
I'm not going to argue about this. Yes, it's good. It's all very good, Baron. Where did Ilyana get to is my real question here. That was 2 hours. I can't get that time back.
As you turn to look, Princess Lorelei is standing nearby with her hands clasped in front of her, just waiting patiently for you two to finish talking.
So badly want to fail a perception check right now. But I don't think it makes sense with 20 wisdom.
Was the meeting that boring?
Yes. I stood there for 2 hours, and I've said one thing.
Well, I do apologize, but it was important that some of us were there.
Next time, I think I'll send Othie.
I think Othie probably would have said more than just one thing.
Good.
But we should find the others. There's a lot to discuss before tomorrow.
Right, yes. We have a whole other side of the squad to inform about what's going on, what the current deal is.
As the 3 of you leave the castle. And it's night as you exit. It is still comfortably warm, but it is very clearly dark now. Looking up, you can see the stars spotted across the sky, and you can still smell all of these delectable smells. Meats and desserts and fruits and honey just wafting through the air. As you know where to go, at least one of you does, as you make your way over to Malone's pub. And as you enter Yeah.
pastries as we go, using princess privilege, grabbing pastries.
Of course.
But then, like, as we cross into the pub, switch back to Ileana.
Okay. And as the three of you enter, this pub is popping. Almost every table is full of different creatures, different sizes, different colors. There's animal folks, there's mushroom people, there's Eladrin, there's sprites and pixies and tooth fairies and centaurs that are still hanging around. It's a hodgepodge of stuff going on here in Malone's. And as you look behind the bar, you see Malone himself, a massive furry creature with this great grin that goes all the way across his oblong head as he looks up. Oh, welcome in. Grab a seat if you can find one. Drinks? Food? Yes. And he goes back and he starts to grab some stuff. As you see,
Do we see the others?
Yeah, you see the others. Ben and Othi, how are you two doing?
Othi's doing great. In fact, as soon as everybody walks in, she's probably like, oh, Ben, it's our friends! They're finally back!
And Ben, by this time, actually kind of raises his pint.
Hi, friends!
Yeah, he kind of looks at him, hey, you're free!
Yes, we were only hostages for a brief amount of time.
But you were hostages?
Yeah, they get
Varen
it.
gets it. Varen gets it.
You could have left at any point, like I did.
Varen could not leave. Varen did not want to be there. Varen had to act as Brother Ox. Varen had responsibilities that are now over. Well,
Congratulations.
no, Varen still has responsibility to do good, but the specific responsibility is over.
I think Gren side-eyes Ileana and remembers how he was told to stay and watch Varen and just gets a little bit of a sour look on his face. Leave any time, huh? Okay, I'm gonna walk away and get a drink.
Well, we do have some options for how we can contribute to this effort, and I will fill everyone in on everything that was that I feel like I can share that was discussed, as far as like the options for us to contribute and all of that. So the options were: we meet them in the field, we protect the seed, or protect the city. Those were our options.
Yeah, those are the three main ones. Or other option if you feel like there is a better place for you somewhere else.
So I will relay that to everyone.
And Othi's just like nodding along, listening like really intently. And then after you finish the second option, she's like, wait, what was the first option again? There's like a stack of like beer mugs next to her spot at the table.
Okay, do you have any magic that could maybe sober you up for a bit? I will buy you more drinks to get you drunk again.
Do I have magic to sober up?
That's a good question.
Othi says in a very long way as me, the player, is actively looking to see if she has anything like that.
Would a lesser restoration do?
Doesn't lay on hands? Can you drop 5 points of that to get rid of poison?
Oh, it does. Yes.
Yeah.
Sober. I mean, I could order like a coffee or Oh no, I have this thing. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, she very shakily puts her hand on her other arm, and yeah, we'll neutralize a poison, quote unquote. How?
It doesn't seem as fun
I always
as hair of
forget.
the dog.
Yeah, I always forget when I sober up like that quick. It gives me a wicked headache for like 30 seconds. Anyways, yes, I'm
sorry for
sober. What's up?
interrupting your I am sorry for interrupting your fun, but I promise I can help you get drunk again after this.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, this is probably important. I should probably pay attention anyways. What did you need?
And I will go back through the 3 options.
All right, so if we went to protect the seed, would that, I don't know, would we draw more attention that way since we've kind of gotten attention from interested parties?
I don't know that we would. We would be the last line of defense. I
Okay.
think we would be pretty well hidden.
I mean,
Ben isn't quite as. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
the Oath was gonna, I mean, if they get the seed, we're pretty much all toast. So yeah, that seems like the best spot for our efforts, I think.
Gren, Berhen, Ben.
Well, you know me. Majority rules.
We don't have
venture alone, but the idea of this is a time when defense is assumed. Everyone will be defending. We will have to resist when they get here, but that is also what they expect us to do. I fear we will be too predictable should we stay to only protect. We are strong, but not if we are surrounded. We can still starve. The Grove provides, but the Grove cannot provide for a city.
Fair point.
I agree that that is a strong position for us to take. My worry is if they split up, we cannot meet all of them in the field. But if scouts can find where they are, and it seems like they were all together, then us trying to hit them hard before they even get to the city could be a good strategy. We could always fall back if needed.
Ben kind of nods towards Varen, like, yeah, that's the point he was about to make.
Are there those that can shape the field?
I think if we asked for some support, that could happen. I don't know how many soldiers could be spared, but I'm sure we could get some support, maybe some people who have that ability. If we can figure out where they are coming from, then we can pick the place we engage them as well.
Yes.
An ambush.
With the proper help, we can force an approach at one direction as well.
Ooh.
If there is only one point of entry, there is only one place to defend. The city can repair. The city will heal.
And if they come by air?
Then we will call lightning.
I assume you're talking about sealing the walls. That is not something they would be able to see until they were close. So it would not change their direction until they are immediately here. If we meet them in the field, I would imagine it would be a little further out. But that's dependent on scouts being able to find them. Still don't know where they are.
they could probably, with the kind of power they have, they could probably just make their own opening into the wall anyways.
That's true.
I'm all for getting the fighting as far away from the average citizen as much as possible. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, collateral damage, it ain't pretty.
It's not pretty, but it will be what happens. In 3 moonfalls, many of us will be dead. This is not something that is avoided. People will die. You may die. Varen will not die. Varen will live as long as the Grove of Hunger lives. But
That's maybe true, but we want to mitigate that damage to those who can't fight this battle as much as possible.
Hitting them before they get here, even if we don't completely destroy them, if we only destroy one of them or 2 of them, that would make defending the city that much easier.
Very true.
then we skirmish. We pester.
Guerrilla warfare?
Seems like something within our wheelhouse.
Now you're talking my language.
I kind of love it.
Varen agrees.
I agree.
All right, well, battle out in the field it is then, sounds like.
Varen will consult the Grove tonight as well.
And I will let the Queen know. As soon as the scouts report back that they found something, we'll make our move. Until then, I believe I promised Othi I would get her drunk again.
That you did. Oh, before I get drunk again, while I'm still sober and thinking about it, do you know how to get back in touch with the Mouse King person? That we did. You said the job was done, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I there's a particular hammer that they were gonna get for me. How do I collect?
I believe you'll have to actually come to the castle for that. You'll need to speak with the Mouse King, and the Queen as well, I believe, was backing this job.
If I have to go to the castle, I guess.
Well, we can do it in the morning.
Oh, absolutely, in the
Do it
morning.
tonight.
And she like waves to Malone. Like 2 more rounds. She's paying.
There. I got a friend to do it for you this time. Nice. He brings over enough drinks for everybody.
Nice.
And I will pass him a small token. It's an oddly shaped coin, but it has a crest on it, a sun eclipsed by a moon. I was told this would cover our drinks for tonight.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Let me know if I can provide anything else for you tonight.
Thank you.
And he leaves with a huge grin on his face.
At mention of repayment from the Mouse King, Ben goes very quiet, and he's way more into downing those next couple of beers.
Can Gren just step outside for a second? Or well, I guess I'm gonna. So the spell sending is a
Yep.
spell that exists that I've realized I can use now.
Okay.
Now, Lucin's been exiled
Uh-huh.
to another plane?
It's to somewhere. Definitely.
To somewhere. Can I try and cast sending on Lucin
Yeah, you can.
as a thing?
Yep. Go for it.
I think it's a 5% chance it fails to another plane. Yeah.
Yeah, put the spell there for you.
Just don't roll a 1.
It's one of my favorite spells in 5e. So useful.
Yeah, for third level. Really
All right.
strong.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a d20. See, he is not on this plane currently.
D20. Come on.
All right. Okay. As you get ready to cast your sending spell, what does this look like and what do you say?
I think his sending spell looks like a piece of parchment like flies out of his pocket and appears, and whatever message he's sending, it scripts. It's like a little Disney, you know. It's almost like a fine ink brush, and it's just writing the words out, which 25 words, and then it flies off to whoever he's sending it to.
All right.
Okay. As for what would, I didn't think this would work actually, so I didn't know what I'd be saying. But I guess I'm gonna count it out myself now. Lucin, I don't know if this will reach you. This is Gren. Tomorrow or in the coming days. There is much danger. Probably gonna die. Need guidance.
Okay. As you send off this parchment and sit and wait, you receive a response. Now, your responses. You sent off a piece of paper. Do you receive a piece of paper, or do you hear this one?
I think I think I just hear a voice back. I think Gren is a lot of Gren spells are like more extravagant than is necessary.
True. And you hear a response from a voice that you have not heard in quite a long time. But it is a little different as it responds back to you. Ren, it has been so long. I thought you had forgotten about me. Danger looms. But you have strength. Reach out to members of... And it kind of fades away for a second. And it comes back. Nyx has done something. The Queen of Cats. She needs to know.
where I am. Gren, help! And it's gone.
God, so many emotions. Queen Nyx has done something the Queen of Cats needs to know. I haven't met the Queen of Cats yet. That was like my number 2 thing on my list of things to do forever. I don't think, is Avery still with the party? No, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. Avery currently has not been around with you right now. But they are around in the city. So they did come with you, but they aren't currently with you. They're here somewhere.
Damn. I think Gren is just gonna like go searching then. Instead of, this was supposed to be like a Hail Mary sort of thing, but that has worked. I think Gren is actively running. As he's running, he'll cast Sending to Lucen again. He doesn't know if it's gonna work this time, of course. But his Lucen, I would never forget about you. I was merely petrified for a time. I am back now, and I will find you, and you will be free. I actually got that 25 words.
Find me, Gren. Find me. They must protect the seed. I can help. It was our job. Help, Gren.
Yeah, Gren's just speeding off to find Avery, so we can leave it there.
All right. As Gren leaves the pub, anything else the rest of you would like to do as you wrap up your night?
I'll hang out and make sure that Othi gets drunk, and then I'm going to head back to the castle. I think I go to my quarters first, but then eventually I will go to Baronestra. I'm going to see if my sister will let me stay with her tonight. I've been gone for so long.
She is more than happy to. Yeah, absolutely. You can see that the Mouse King is also hanging out. He's off in his little corner over there, but they're all doing their own things, but hanging out in the same room. As you are welcomed in.
If the Mouse King is there, then I will be Lorelei for the night then.
Okay.
Varen's gonna ask if anyone will show it to like where an orchard or like kind of a bit of pasture is, or I guess probably not the right area for a pasture, where a vineyard is.
Absolutely. It is nighttime still, so there's not really going to be anyone around. But yeah, there's definitely areas of plant growth. Even outside the city is where a lot of the larger vineyards would be, so it might be a little bit of a walk, and you might have to leave if you want a larger area. As far as inside the walls themselves, there are garden areas, there are park areas. There's some that have little smaller vineyards that might not be considered a full vineyard, but are area of fruit trees and grapes and all of these other plants.
Fantastic. Then Varen is going to kind of doing the normal thing that it does before it sleeps, is going to bring up the 3 stone pillars to make the kind of the shelter area, but will build it around some of the local like fruit trees, vines, what have you, and will like start to throw out the little green flaming stones that it has, so it doesn't have to play with actual fire, and will let itself try to reconnect with the grove. Not actually going to cast divination, just hoping for good vibes. Will be casting. Can I say that Varen asked for like a whole bunch or really tiny bags or a few fairly large buckets before it left the bar?
Sure.
Great. Cool. So then as Verhin does its like rituals and stuff, you see the vines that were already existing kind of splitting off and growing into each other and changing shape and getting a little denser, a little heavy with fruit. And at the end of a minute or so, there is, give me just 1 second. Shit. Okay, and at the end of a minute or so, there is 120 heavy fruits hanging from the vines that have grown and kind of just circled around this dome-like structure. And so tomorrow, hopefully when shit hits the fan, we will have 120 good berries to hand to people so they don't fucking die. Everybody gets one. You get one, kids.
Wonderful. That's so good.
Goodberry and Molder, their utility. How do you not cast that at bed every night?
Fair enough. Ben, how about you?
Let's see. Now, Malone's was an inn as well, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Ben at the mention of repayment from the Mouse King got really quiet, and he went off to kind of got quiet with Othi and everybody else, and he's kind of gone off to find a room by himself. And once he's there, he kind of reaches into his shirt and pulls out. There's a really fine adamantine chain, and on the end of it is a dark metal band. And he just kind of holds it for a little bit before going to check in for the night.
All right. Othi, you got drunk again.
Yep.
What are you up to now?
Yeah, so Othi's just gonna have a lot of fun and hang out until things start to wind down. And assuming nobody like in our party enlists her on some shenanigans, she'll head to bed with probably like 4 of the same size mugs full of water that she'll just down before going to bed.
So smart. So smart. You find your own room, and Malone's closes pretty late. So as everyone started to disappear, you kept hanging out at your local spot. For the first time in a long time, it feels like. As you all, whether or not you find restful sleep or the person you're looking for, which we'll jump back to in the morning, as you all tuck in for the evening or go on a search. We're going to pick up with that when we come back next time.
Awesome. Oh, that was super fun. I'm excited for not next week, but the week after. Come back and find out what that's about. And it sounds like we're gonna get into some fighting, which will be a lot of fun. But before we go on a raid, I want to let everybody say what their favorite part was, where we can find them next, anything they'd like to share or plug. We'll go reverse order from how we started, so we'll start with Andy.
Hey, I'm Andy. I'm your DM, your world builder, your science teacher, your person on the internet at Martinez Tweets. The places you can find me is, again, 2 weeks from now. right back here. Also, over the next couple of months or so, we've been working on our Emergent Code podcast, the Animon story, which has been in the works for a little bit, and we're very excited to continue to show the character designs and the artwork eventually, which the bits that I've seen look pretty sweet. Yeah, they're really cool. So very excited to share more details about that as we get them over the next couple of weeks, months, or whatever it takes. But yeah, my favorite part, I think, was the complaining about the meeting. I think that was probably my favorite part, because that's the thing that, like, I just feel in my soul of souls, where absolutely this could have been an email, but we don't have those, or don't check them as sometimes. So that was a very funny bit to me. I really liked all the interactions that you all got to do with each other today. We didn't do a combat scene, but I liked a lot of the role play, different scenarios that we found ourselves in. Very fun stuff for me.
Awesome. I also enjoyed that quite a bit. Zan, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah, favorite part. I mean, it was a clear win for the triple bluff that I am still not fully recovered from. But those moments at the end were just so beautiful. Like, there was so much character packed in those last like 7 minutes that it's kind of astonishing. And so I think that was a really good like break of pace and a chance to kind of let us have the calm before the storm. Just beautiful. And yeah, I'm Insanity TTRPG, or just Zan, depending on the places that you find me. I do have some cool stuff going on. The first is that I will be popping up on Ghost on a Train, an actual play podcast using the Ghost Lines hack for Blades in the Dark, but it's not Blades in the Dark. It's powered by the Apocalypse, but it's kind of, if you like weird steampunk ghost attacking trains, it's a cool spooky time, and I get to be a delightful, as another NPC has put it, a chump. So that's going to be a super fun time. I also am in Super Suits, which just episode 3 just dropped. We are almost at our 3,000 listener mark, so be sure to check that out. That's dropping every other week, and it is so fucking funny. It's a show about superheroes and the lawyers that protect them. They wear suits, so you can wear a suit. Something like that. I don't remember. I can never remember the tagline. I've got that. I also have some games up on Start Playing. As of today, I have 4 new games up. One, if you know me and you know the kind of stuff that I run, of course, they came from beneath the sea. Crawdaddy Knows Best. The game that I have been preparing and revising for several years now is up in its current state up there. I also have a few campaigns that I'm kicking off. One is Prize Fighters, which is a Beam Saber combat league inspired by G Gundam and Zoid's New Century. I also have Soulful Shanties, which is an orbital blues system kind of retooled to be like steampunk airship pirates. So if you like Treasure Planet, if you like Skies of Arcadia, that's definitely going to be the one for you. And I am finally, after so very long, getting an Afterlife Wandering Souls campaign going. This is my favorite game of all time, and I had to ask to get this specifically put on Start Playing, so I'm the only motherfucker running it right now. So you definitely want to find me on there. I've got all these links posted on Twitter, that I won't post them in like 5 minutes, but check that out. It's going to be super cool. And if you're at PAX, come and check out my talks. I'm on a panel, and I'm on a panel Friday and on a panel Saturday, both in the afternoon. I think both at 3 o'clock. I'll talk more about those next time. And hey, if you're able, come to the Therapeutic and Applied Gaming Geek Summit coming up here in April, because I'm also leading a workshop there and hosting another panel. Just a million things to do. Gosh, that was a lot. Sorry.
Well, that's so awesome. Can confirm on the Crawdaddy Knows Best. Definitely go sign up for that. It's super fun. Next, we've got Par. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
As far as favorite part, I think, I don't usually like to say it's moments that I was a part of, but yeah, I think the conversation with Lucen was, yeah, I think that was. I've been sort of waiting the whole campaign to be like, when is Gren gonna trust the party enough to sort of like bring this up as a thing? And it didn't happen, but now I think it was a gut punch to Gren and myself. And like, oh, I should have, yeah, I probably should have thrown a little caution to the wind at some point. And now he's scrambling, truly scrambling. I don't know what's what it's gonna be for next episode, but yeah, I think that's my favorite part. You can find me next in 2 weeks when we do this show again. And you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Parr, Mr. Parr 40, and you can find me on Twitch and YouTube at just Mr. Parr. Also, you got to spell out the Mr. I never remember to say this, but spell out the Mr. in Mr. Parr, and you'll find me.
Awesome. And then we got M next. What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Favorite parts, I'm gonna second the triple bluff, because it's like, how do you up your game from lying to a demon lord's face? And it's like, well, there it is. Also, yeah, the complaining about the meeting, I worked in government for a while, for 10 years, so I also felt that in my soul. Where everybody walks out and it's like, we didn't need to be here. Yeah, the character moments at the end, the moment with Lucian, always love Baron's private moments with itself, because Baron is fascinating, and just really cool. Also, Othy speed running sobriety and hangover was really fun. Yeah, that triple bluff again. Congrats on up your game from lying to a demon lord's face. That's really impressive. But yeah, I'm Emily. You can find me. I'm at Timberdoodles on Twitter. I'm a digital artist. And yeah, I'm hyped for a couple of weeks. See how it all goes down.
All right. Next, we would normally have Ian. Again, Ian's awesome. Definitely go check out his stuff. His Twitter's right there at yaboybig. And hopefully we'll have him and Marosha back next time. And then Anna, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? Anything you want to share or plug?
Yeah. Favorite part is a tie, I think. Zan's face in the reveal. That cracked me up. When this campaign was starting, I came to Andy. I was like, I have a complicated character idea. And it's been fun. But also the all the character moments at the end, like everyone said, we kind of speed ran those. We didn't sit in any of them very long, but they were all wonderful. And I'm very interested to see where this goes for Gren and what comes of that, and whether or not we see a conclusion to it by the end of the season. But yeah, I am Anna, aka Archival, This Funny most places on the internet. And tonight I have been playing Penumbra, Princess of the Summer Court and the Summer Queen's Shadow. But if you like what I do, you can find me a lot of places on the internet. I'm a queer and trans advocate, museum worker, TTRPG streamer, and podcaster. You can find me on Twitter at Archival Despot and most other social media at either Archival Despot or Archival Despotty, depending on how many characters they allow in your name. So just look around for me. When I'm not here, Wednesday nights, you can find me over on Baldurion's channel for Morphs in the Swamp. Season 2, that is our Animorphs, Blades in the Dark campaign. We have all of the teen, child soldier, drama, trauma, and romance you could want in a show. It's loads of fun. Season 2 is a great place to jump in, especially if you're already familiar with the Animorphs lore. We recap really well every episode and at the beginning of the season. It's very easy to jump in and catch that. Also check out over on Thorny Dryad channel U-Force Inheritance, our Masks actual play. We just had our 7th episode and it is available on demand. and teen superheroes, romance, drama. We have an amazing cast, and since we only play once a month, it's easy to keep up, and we pack so much into every episode, so it is worth your time to check it out. You will never walk away feeling like nothing happened. If sci-fi or podcast are more your thing, you find me a response team Omnicron. I'll answer actual play podcast following a PR team who unexpectedly ends up on the front lines of a brewing conflict. We've been described as if Battlestar Galactica had its own red versus blue. And we just came back from hiatus. So we have a brand new episode up for the first time since before the holidays. It's our most ambitious episode yet, and I think it came out fairly well considering Squadcast ate some of our recordings. I think we recovered from it well. So check it out. And of course, keep an eye out for Emergent Code, the upcoming Quarian Trans-led Animal Story podcast. We just revealed our cast. You can find that on our Twitter at Emergent Code Pod. You'll find me over there. You'll find Andy. You'll find Zan. You'll find Ian, and a couple of other really amazing cast members. We will have character reveals coming up soon. The artwork we're seeing is amazing, and you'll see our first episodes here in a couple months. If you enjoy Digimon Tamers or Digimon Survive, it will be very much worth the wait. So follow us on Emergent Code Pod at Twitter, and yeah,
Awesome.
that's all I got.
That just leaves me. My favorite part. Yeah, I really enjoyed the character interactions this time around. Just the simple role playing stuff. Definitely enjoyed getting to play Othi drunk, and then speedrunning sobriety, and then going back to getting drunk. That was a lot of fun. I had the like split second thought as I was reading the description of Lay on Hands, and I was like, wait a minute, if that removes the poison all at once, I bet that would cause like a super intense hangover, like for a short period of time. Like, oh yes, I have to throw that in. So I just love stuff like that. It's fun. I'm really excited for the next session. The story has really been building to a climactic point, I think. So I'm excited to start seeing the consequences of our own actions, if you will. Where you can find me next. I'll definitely be back here, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. Will be the next session for this. Animus Absentis is on hiatus for right now. I am moving either to another city close by or to Washington State in a matter of weeks. And I still don't know which, so that's fun. So that's a big reason for the hiatus. But once that gets all sorted out and I get settled, whichever place I end up in, then we'll start that back up again. So look for more Animus probably in another month or two. Aside from that, you can find me over on Start Playing Games. I run a time traveling post-apocalyptic horror game on Friday nights called Badlands, using Monster of the Week. That's been going fantastic, and because of the format and how we do it, it's really easy to bring in new players. So there's currently one spot left if somebody wanted to jump in on that. And then starting 2 weeks from this coming Thursday, I'm doing a The Last of Us inspired zombie survival campaign using Fundamental RPG, and that'll be every other Thursday. So I've got a couple of cool games coming up there. Definitely let me know if you're interested in joining. What else? I think that's all the big stuff for now. Let me throw the sponsor message over into chat, which is Fundamental RPG. You can grab this over on Amazon. Or you can get the PDF or the free quick play guide over at my coffee shop, which is spelled like at the bottom of the screen. There is Ravenflight Games, which is the brand that I do all of my books and GMing through. And you can find my profile over on Start Playing Games for that. It's there in chat, and that's where you can find those two games that I have running that I mentioned if you would like to sign up. And then we're affiliated with Die Hard Dice, so if you use the code BlackFeather over at dieharddice.com, you can get 10% off of your order, which is pretty cool. Die Hard Dice is a really cool company. They've got really amazing people over there, and their dice are top quality too. So I can't recommend them enough. They're really cool people. And then, not sponsored, but also go check out Children and Champions of the Fae. It's a supplement for D&D 5th edition that we're using for this campaign. And it's got some really cool stuff in there. Like, even if you just use a couple of elements from it, it's really cool. So definitely go check that out. I think that is everything. So we're going to go on a raid here real shortly. And I will see you all in 2 weeks. Yeah. Bye, everybody.